Senate Bill 2 will be our property tax, I don't know what we'll call it yet, but our property tax bill. And here's, I think, where we're heading. And we've had hearings all over the state, including up here, but a great hearing in Tarrant County. Right now, there's an 8% rollback rate for schools, cities, and counties. If the budgets grow more than 8%, then you can get a petition together and you can ask for a vote. It never happens. It never happens. By the way, that 8% doesn't count new construction, so the 8's really high. And I understand our county commissioners, our county judges, our local officials, our mayors, our superintendents have a hard job. But so do you as the hardworking taxpayers who want to stay in your home or keep your business. So what we want to do is change that rollback rate from 8% to 4%, so that moving forward, your property taxes can never grow more than 4%. And if they do, there's an automatic vote of the people. Wow. Yeah. That's what we want to do. And I've said, and I know I'm being taped somewhere, I see a camera out there. I've said, if we have to stay there until this time next year to pass that bill, I'm all in. I'm willing to stay. It's important. People are being taxed out of their homes and out of their businesses. Now, next. Some people give me a hard time about this bill, even some Republicans, not in this room. But I intend to be sure that Texas does not allow any man to go into the bathroom with a woman. We're going to keep them out of the bathroom. You know, this whole idea of discrimination. What are we discriminating against someone who thinks they are someone? I mean, what happens when, if you think about this logic, in other words, based on their birth certificate, they think they're someone else, and so we don't want to discriminate against them. If this is allowed to take hold in America, I'm waiting for the first trans senior. Who's a trans senior?
Yeah, I feel
it's a 45-year-old who says, I feel like I'm 65 and I want my Social Security now because my birth certificate doesn't count. And you laugh. But did we really think we'd have to pass a bill to keep ninth grade boys from showering with ninth grade girls? The good news is, we fought that battle in Fort Worth, and I came up and spoke because you didn't have a voice, because there were no meetings, and we got them to back down. We took on the president, and I called him out for his 30 pieces of silver that we will not be blackmailed. If they want to hold their money, we'll find a way to find our own money to replace the federal money. So we will stand tall for it. I said to a friend of mine who's, I've known her for a long time, she's just a diehard liberal, and she said, Dan, I don't understand. She said, why are you against transgender people? I said, first of all, we're not. We don't want anyone bullied. We don't want anyone harassed, especially the kids in the schools. But we're not worried about transgender people going into the ladies' room. We're worried about sexual predators taking advantage of that policy to go into the ladies' room, just like they do on the internet to go after innocent victims. And she got it. So we're going to fight for that. It's just one of those hills you die on. If we as Republicans in Texas can't stand up for that, then we can't stand up for anything. And by the way, it's not this single little issue. This is a part of the grand plan by the political left to undermine everything that's right about family and church. It's all about that. Make no mistake. School choice. School choice is really important. I don't have time to do this real fast, but James and Jonathan, would you give me 4 chairs up here on the stage real fast? I know my time's running out. I want to give you the reason why, I said thank you, Tony Tindrell, for school choice. And Jonathan, one of the 3, and Tony and James, why don't you sit in those first 3 seats over there? Yeah, good, sit there. Okay, we're going to pretend they're students at school. Oh, Jonathan, you have a substitute teacher today. His name is Byron Cook. Don't expect to get any good grades. Byron, if you're watching, well, you're watching. There's not a student in this seat. And why is that? Because this student's parents are rich and can afford to send their child to a private school. Does anyone in here think we should pass a bill to prohibit parents who are well off enough to send their child to a private school? I've asked this question even in pure Democrat crowds, never got a hand James, he's in public school. His parents just hit the lottery. They've decided they don't like James being in this failing public school. And most of our schools do a fine job, but we have about 10% of them, about 900 campuses are going to get an F. James, your parents just took you out of school. Go ahead. Go back to your bedroom and play with your toys, whatever you're doing. Did the school lose any money because of James?
No.
Because they're not teaching him. Okay. Now, Tony, you were in the military, right? Okay. Your dad's in the military. Big Tony. He just got transferred to Virginia. Should anyone pass a bill that says he can't go with his dad because if he leaves the school, it could cost them money? Of course not. Tony, go with your dad to Virginia. Did the school district lose any money because Tony's not there? No. Because they don't have to teach him. Now we get down, as we always do, to Jonathan. Jonathan's parents aren't rich. Jonathan's parents didn't hit the lottery. Jonathan's parents didn't get a job in another state or another county. Jonathan is in one of our failing schools that's been a failure for year after year after year in our inner cities and some of them in our rural areas. And his parents would like for Jonathan to go to a school where he can have a shot at the American dream by getting a quality education. But he's not allowed because his parents don't have any money. They didn't move. They didn't hit the lottery. So why do we deprive the right of that student and his parents to have the same opportunities as the other three? Because when Jonathan, you may have a seat. When Jonathan is able to leave and go to a school of his parents' choice, the school district didn't lose any money on him either. Just like they didn't lose money on the three. I know there was a question, and I saw it, I'll answer it in advance. The Homeschool Coalition, Tim Lambert, the president of the homeschoolers, support our education savings accounts. We are not going to do anything that would ever put any strings attached on homeschoolers. Period, end of story. In fact, when I ran for the Senate, the only group that endorsed me were the homeschoolers. The first group that endorsed me for lieutenant governor were the homeschoolers. I'm speaking at the homeschool gala Saturday night. That doesn't mean of our 100,000 roughly homeschool parents that some don't disagree, but I can assure you that will not happen. The reason it's important for Jonathan and all his friends, because we have a situation in this country of have and have-nots, because there's no education. And with no education, there's no hope because there's no job. I'm not saying it's the root of all the violence in our inner cities, but it's a big part of it. We will not have a safe America for your kids and grandkids. We will not have a prosperous America for your kids and grandkids where they're not taxed for everything they make. We will not have a future in Texas if we don't get about 300,000 kids out of the 6 million that we have in Texas out of these failing schools. Where in Dallas, Texas, without exaggeration, I'm rounding off the numbers, for every child that goes to college, 200 go to prison.
Oh, wow.
Zip code after zip code after zip code after zip code. And you say, wow, have you looked at these schools? And what happens when these kids go to charters? They flourish, if it's a good charter. What happens when they get an opportunity if they're homeschooled? They flourish. What happens when they get a chance to go to a Catholic school or a Jewish school or a Protestant school? They flourish. It's about doing the right thing. And we as Republicans, if we don't stand for that issue, then not only are we not doing the right thing by that child and that family, but we're putting ourselves and our state and our country in harm's way. Because that guy on the end is going to get pretty angry at these other three at some point. In fact, I see a lot of anger out there. So, a lot of issues we're going to fight for next session. It's going to be a tough session. Money will be tight. You know, Obamacare is killing us. You know, I met with the, 1 minute and I'll close up. I met with the independent insurance agents in Houston a couple of weeks ago. And they told me in Houston, I don't know what the numbers are for here, they're gathering me numbers. In Houston, if you have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and you're on your own policy, which about a third of policy members are not through their work, but their own, premiums in January go up 60%. Obamacare is breaking our bank. If I had a chart here, a pie chart, last session, in round numbers here, some reporter watching the table said, well, he was off by 2 points or 3 points. I'm not using my notes here. If you If you look at our budget last session, roughly 45% was education and 45% was healthcare. That's 90%, 10% is public safety, is 9% of our budget. And healthcare has grown from about 15% to this 45% in a very short period of time. Our Medicaid rolls, and we didn't buy into the Medicaid system, Rick Perry was right about that, but it's still exploding because of the Affordable Care Act, which is not affordable for anyone. So it's a real big challenge for us. It's going to, like the Pac-Man, most of us are old enough to remember that, eating everything in the budget. So it's going to be a challenging session, but a tough session, but we're up to the task. We have great conservative senators. There are great conservative House members, and I have a great relationship with our governor, and we're going to get these things done, or we're going to, let's say if we lose, the winning side is going to limp off the battlefield, because we're in it for the fight. We have to win these battles. I'm blessed to be your Lieutenant Governor. I'm grateful, and I thank you all very much. I don't know if there's any time for questions. We can? Okay. Let's, okay.